Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about some new Halo TV show news, and as ever with this show, some of it's positive and some of it's negative. I know the last video was kind of negative, but I'm sorry, this is going to be the second negative one in a row. I was originally torn on whether or not I should even make this video, but honestly, I feel like as somebody who spends like half of his life talking about Halo lore and even does it for a living, I owed it to you guys to throw my hat in the ring and just give my 2 cents on these developments. So, let's start off with the good. Let's get the good stuff out the way. Some of this was announced a little while back and I never got around to covering it for whatever reason, but better late than never, right? Alongside Pablo Schreiber as Chief, Natasha McElhone, I think that's how you pronounce it, has been cast as Halsey and Cortana, and my god, the resemblance is uncanny. This is an absolute solid casting. Great actress, looks exactly like both the characters should be playing, and to top it off, she's British. Originally, Bungie wanted Cortana to have a British accent until Jen Taylor came and wowed them with a performance, so maybe, considering that this show is alternate canon or something along those lines, more on that in a minute, we'll finally get British Cortana. I mean, honestly, I'd be really down for that. As much as I will miss Jen Taylor's version of her and Halsey, I would definitely be down for British Cortana. I don't know, maybe that's my bias showing. Bokeem Woodbine has been cast as Soren 066, which is honestly a really interesting cast. Soren was a Spartan 2 washout who was severely disfigured by the augmentations, which led to him becoming an insurrectionist sympathizer and eventually trying to defect. Now, where he's gonna fit in the show, I have no idea, but considering it's not exactly canon, they could do anything, and honestly, I'm intrigued to see where they go with this. Shabana Azmi has been cast as none other than Admiral Margaret Parangoski, the Commander-in-Chief of ONI throughout the entire Human Covenant War. So I think, unsurprisingly, ONI are going to play a pretty major role in this show, which I am definitely down with. Bentley Carlu has been cast as Spartan Vanak 134, Natasha Kulczak as Riz 028, and Kate Kennedy as Kai 125, who by the looks of it are going to be making up Chief's squad. Now, like many others, I can't help but think that these Spartans, who are all entirely new Spartan 2s, have been created to replace Blue Team. And here's the thing, right? On the one hand, I don't like this at all because seeing Chief with Blue Team on the small screen would be nothing short of incredible. The show wants to focus on creating deep Spartan characters and fleshing out their existing characters, and what better way is there to do that than to have Blue Team? They were the tightest knit group of all the Spartan 2s and served together in countless battles throughout the entire war. However, on the other hand, using Blue Team does restrict the writing and the story. I mean, for obvious reasons, they could never kill off any members of Blue Team in the show because despite it being a branch of the official canon, they play crucial roles in countless events further down the timeline, like later on during the Covenant War and also after, and killing any of them off would send irreversible ripples down the timeline of this canon branch. But creating new Spartans entirely gives them infinitely more breathing room and flexibility, because, I mean, if they want to, they can even focus on the pain the other Spartans experience when one of their team dies or goes missing in action. I mean, Fall of Reach did that really well with Sam, so maybe we can get something similar to that in this show. Despite the fact that I would have loved to have seen Blue Team on the small screen, creating new characters like this is a great idea, in my opinion. It was absolutely the right direction for them to take the show. Which is why this next piece of news makes no fucking sense whatsoever and completely contradicts almost everything that we've been told about this show so far. All of this was released late on Friday night, and since then, the Halo community has been in absolute turmoil for good reason, in my opinion. Captain Keyes, Miranda Keyes, and another new character have been cast. Danny Sapani as Keyes and Olive Gray as Miranda. So, I guess authenticity's just gone out the window then. No doubt, these two are fantastic actors. I've seen them both in other stuff before. I've seen Sapani in Black Panther and The Last Jedi, and Gray in Dark Money. Their acting is great. But why the hell have they been cast for roles that they don't fit? I mean, Danny Sapani, look at this. Danny Sapani would have made the absolute perfect Johnson. Look how good he looks with that cap. Tell me that does not look like a grizzled Johnson. And yet, for some just utterly baffling reason, 343 and Showtime felt the need to completely change the ethnicity of two major characters, loved and renowned by fans since 2001, and who both played major roles in two of the biggest games of all time. I just don't understand. It makes no sense whatsoever why they so brazenly just overwrite existing canon, despite saying that you're going to be respectful to it. I really don't get it. Instead, you could have very easily just made new characters for both of these actors and then also cast Keyes and Miranda, or maybe don't even have Keyes and Miranda in it. Just create new characters for Sapani and Gray and have them fill the role or something. I don't understand. But don't worry, the canon breaking definitely doesn't stop there. In fact, it gets worse. Now, I'm somebody who originally wasn't too against the idea of the show being a branch of the canon. I mean, if you go back and watch my video on the show from earlier this year, you'll see that I kind of actually liked the idea. If it let them change maybe like 1 or 2 dates here and there, or maybe have a character be in one location when they should have been in another location at that time, or something like that. If it only meant a few minor changes to add a lot of meat and quality to the story, then I was all for it. That was all I was honestly hoping that they'd do with this, especially after they literally said that they're going to be respectful to the canon. But I was wrong. I was massively, massively wrong. The first major canon break comes from Captain Keyes' description. First off, by saying that he was a captain, a rank that he didn't achieve until right before the fall of Reach. I highly doubt that this show is going to end up being another Fall of Reach adaptation. At least, I sincerely hope that it won't be. We don't need any more. Please, no more Reach adaptations. Leave it be. Then it said that Keyes is going to have to work alongside his daughter, Dr. Miranda Keyes, more on that in a second, and his ex-wife, Halsey, which is just yet again a brazen overwrite of the canon. At no point were Keyes and Halsey ever married. Quite the opposite, in fact. Miranda was conceived when the two reunited at a university conference or something, and she only lived with Halsey until she was 6, where she then went to live with Keyes instead, even going so far as to change her surname from Miranda Halsey to Miranda Keyes because she didn't like her mother. And as for them all working together, I'm pretty sure that makes even less sense. I mean, the first time that Keyes and Halsey reunited after Miranda was born was in August 2552, and Miranda only joined service, I think it was like somewhere after 2541, and she didn't see action until like 2550. So unless this show is set during Reach, which makes no sense considering Chief would have been serving with Blue Team, it breaks canon completely. Anyways, Dr. Miranda Keyes is now apparently dedicated to understanding the technology, language, and culture of the Covenant. Now, considering that she enlisted into the UNSC at the age of 16, one of the youngest to ever enlist, I have no idea how she somehow just managed to get a doctorate whilst also training to work for the UNSC, but okay, whatever. She'll also have to navigate the politics of the UNSC to get what she wants. Now, I really hope that this is referring to how bureaucratic the UNSC are, which would actually make for some quite interesting, like, political intrigue within the military, with the Covenant there and everything. I really hope that it doesn't mean something else. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that it doesn't mean something else. And the new character, Marquis, played by Charlie Murphy, who ironically looks really similar to Miranda, is and get ready for this, she's an orphaned human raised by the Covenant who shares their contempt for humanity. Now, do I really need to elaborate on why this is such an insane idea? I mean, the entire reason for the Human Covenant War happening was because the mere existence of humanity invalidated the entire Covenant religion. When Truth, Mercy, and Regret discovered that the humans were in fact marked as the true inheritors of the Foreigner's legacy, they declared humanity an affront to their gods, demons, heretics who needed to be vanquished from the universe. As long as a single human was alive, there was potential for the entire Covenant to be unraveled, and for the Hierarchs to lose the power they so loved. So why are they raising a human? It makes no logical sense whatsoever. honestly, I've got to agree with everyone else saying that this sounds like a bad fan fiction, because it really does. Obviously, I'm gonna hold as much judgment back as possible until I've seen the entire first season in 2021 or whenever it's gonna be, but right now, I've got to be honest, it's not looking too great. Maybe Elite secretly raised her or something in the Covenant. I doubt it. Even if that was the case, that seems really silly. I don't like it. Just have to wait and see, I guess. The thing that, honestly, though, really gets me about this is that at this point, it's very clear that this show isn't canon, or it's a branch of the canon, or whatever. It's not strictly canon. That's fine, honestly. To a degree, I'm not against that. But when you take incredibly important, recognizable, loved characters from two of the most important Halo games ever made, and radically change them in every manner, in appearance, character, personality, you aren't helping anyone. I get that this show is meant to appeal to a wider audience and get them into the games. I'm absolutely fine by that. That's what these adaptation shows are for. That's what The Walking Dead tries to do. That's what Game of Thrones tried to do. I totally understand that. But this right here is absolutely the worst way to do that. How confused are fans of the show going to be when they watch the show, they get interested in Halo and its universe, and then they go and play the games or they watch the cutscenes and realise that all the characters are radically different in almost every conceivable way? And then the same for the fans of the game as well. Why are the characters that they know and love being completely ignored or replaced by what sounds like weird versions? I would love, just for once, for us to get some pure good news about this Halo TV show. So far, we've had Forward into Dawn, which, in my opinion, was just painfully average, followed by Nightfall, which was honestly just straight up awful. If after all those years ago, when I was dreaming about that Blomkamp Peter Jackson Halo movie, and then seeing how incredibly fucking good Landfall was, and being annoyed that Blomkamp never got to truly realise it as a movie, we ended up getting some soap opera, non-canon mess of a show, I and many others are not going to be happy. And I say all of this with absolutely no ill will towards any of the actors or crew or anyone. They're all fantastic actors that have been in really good stuff before, and I'm absolutely adamant that they'll kill their performances in this show, no matter how badly or weirdly written they are. I just wish that Showtime, and more so 343, would just stop changing things for the sake of it. But yeah, there's the news. The show is still on track for 2021 and production is starting soon, so on the bright side, I guess it's good that it's finally kicking into gear. After like 6.5 years of waiting, at least it's finally happening. And that's all I want to talk about today. Don't forget to leave your thoughts on all of this news down below in the comments, but please just remember to be civil. I don't want like any crazy arguments in the comments. Just be kind. We're all Halo fans at the end of the day. No matter whether we like this or we don't, we're all Halo fans. So I know you guys will be. Just be respectful though. Just be respectful. So I want to give a huge thank you to all of my patrons for their continued support over there as per usual. And thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you all in the next one, which I promise will be an actual lore video.